Don't let that sunshine out there fool you today. It is darn cold out there. Well, golly, Farmer Dave, how cold is it? It's a little bit nipply out here. We had an overnight low of 4 degrees with a wind chill of -8, and right now, about midday, it's almost 12 degrees above zero. It's a little bit nipply today. Yeah, it is. Oh. So what do you do on a day like today when it's super cold outside? You have a little bit of fun with some miscellaneous parts. And you make a joke about it. Anyway, what do I do on days like today? Well, today it is so cold outside, I don't want to be outside doing anything. So I am going to take the time to fill out my United States Census of Agriculture forms. Yeah, and now the reason why I'm talking about that today is because a friend of mine has brought something to my attention that worries me somewhat. First up today, though, is a little bit of a comment, apology, whatever you want to call it, on the last titles, or the titles for the last 2 videos that I turned out, whichever way is the right way around, that Winston Churchill got it wrong. Yeah, the one entitled Near Death on the Farm, or whatever it was, Near Dead on the Farm, that was in a tongue-in-cheek commentary on myself having a case of the flu. As most of you know, guys get a little whiny and whimpery and needy and whatever when we have a sickness. So that was what that was meant to be, is a little tongue-in-cheek on me having a flu bug. The other one, the recent one that came out about livestock on the farm, we have no livestock at all here on the farm, just those outside farm cats. A friend of mine's daughter wanted an update, so that's where that is, and that was the whole meaning behind that title, because they're basically the livestock we have here are the cats and dogs at Nelson Creek. Now, on to what I wanted to talk about today. Now, what I'm referring to is something that's put out by the United States Department of Agriculture, and it's called the People's Garden Registration. So, when you find that and you click on it, basically what they want to know is what your address is, what you're growing, and that sort of thing. And, yeah, I'm sorry, folks, the government don't need to know what you're doing, because what they're going to end up doing is figuring out a way to tax you, because they're going to figure that you're growing more than how many people are in your household, based on the size of your garden and what you're planting and whatnot. And yeah, they're going to figure out a way to tax you, because they're going to figure you are selling your fresh produce like a farmer's market, or even off of a little stand on your own place. And the reason why he brought this to my attention is because I was thinking about doing something like that. Well, so far, the U.S.D.A. does not require you to register stuff. In fact, they want to know if you do rain barrels, micro irrigation, composting, cover crops, bat houses, insect hotels, etc. They want to know exactly what you're doing. I'm sorry, folks, and I don't mean to sound like an alarmist or a conspiracy theorist, but same thing they're going to do with your guns. What I mean by that is, if the gun grabbers of the government want to get your guns, what are they going to do first? They're going to go to the NRA and find out who all has a subscription to the National Rifle Association, because those people are more than likely to have a weapon. So that's where they're going to go first. Same thing's going to happen when they decide that they need crops to feed military personnel or whatever. They're going to come to you first. So I encourage you, do not register with the USDA on their People's Garden. Okay, People's Garden? Hello, that sounds like something the Nazi Germany would have had in the 40s. The People's Garden. Yeah, we had victory gardens over here, but the People's Garden, that's communism. That's what's yours is ours and ours is ours. Yeah, don't like that. So people, if you come across the USDA People's Garden thing, don't register. Get out of it. Don't fool with it. And that brings me to my next topic, which is this. Now, the first thing I have that I've gotten in the mail was from the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, is conducting a 2022 census of agriculture to provide a complete picture of all U.S. farms and ranches and the people who operate them. Collected once every 5 years, census data inform decisions that affect you, your community, your industry, Everyone who receives a census is required by law to respond. Okay, so they're already making this a law to respond. So right away, you can't go, United States government, none of your business what I'm doing. And every 5 years, bullshit. Yes, I said that on film. Bull. I have to fill out one of these dang census things every year. Yeah, and do. I don't know what they're talking about every 5 years, because unless that's going to be 5 years from this year, I'll do it again. Maybe one thing, but no, I've been filling out one of these stupid census forms every year now that I've owned the farm. So let's take a look at this now, and I'll show you what the actual census thing is that I get from the USDA every year. This is their threat, warning, threat. If you don't send it in, we'll send you to jail. Okay, they give you a nice business reply mail, prepaid postage, that's nice of them. They give you several pages of instructions on how to fill this thing out and handle your food and whatever and yada, yada, yada. And it is due by February 6th, 2023, and you must respond under penalty of law, Okay. This is the census form. Now, I don't know what they're talking about every 5 years, but I've been filling out one of these silly things every year that I've owned the farm. This page 1. And yeah, you got to use ballpoint pen and all that kind of thing. Kind of reminds me of doing one of them SAT tests back in high school. And it asks you all sorts of questions. You know, how much money have you made on the farm, etc., so forth, so much. How much acreage is in production. How many acres are harvested, etc., so forth. And, I mean, they get everything. Christmas trees. Short rotation woody crops is one of them. And up here at the top, hay and forage crops. Over on this page, field crops. Yeah, so they want to know anything and everything. They even want to know about if you have chickens, goats, nuts, berries, cattle, calves, everything. And you can darn well bet if you register with the People's Garden thing, you're going to have a 28-page form just like I got here to fill out and send in on your own private garden. And heaven help you if you're growing more than what the government thinks you and your family can eat, because they're going to take it away from you. It's just the way they do it. Anyway, as always, I'm Farmer Dave, hoping and wishing you a very good holiday season. If I don't see you between now and then, have an awesome Christmas. And as always, right down there, if you would, right down there, that big red box thing right underneath the picture, says subscribe on it. If you would, I'd appreciate it. And as always, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and for heaven's sakes, leave a comment in the comment section. I do read them, and I'd be interested to know what your take is on this USDA People's Garden thing. So y'all might want to look that up, leave a comment on there, and then we will readdress this in a future video. Until then, I'm Farmer Dave, wishing you well. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye for now.